Hey everybody, it's Ginger, and I'm ready to start a new Bible study with you. I haven't done that for a while. I mean, it's been almost a year since we finished studying the Gospel of John, I believe it was. And most of my personal study in the last several months has been listening to other people teach. So I haven't done a lot of deep dives. But I have been studying the book of Judges, and I've been planning to go over it with you. But it's just been really hard to get back into it. But today is January 1st, 2025. I'm going to study this at my own pace. I'm going to make several videos before I even post one. So who knows when I'll get around to posting this. Because I want to have a lot of videos, or at least several videos, recorded before I do so. Especially since I'm having trouble, keeping up with, this type of study and recording and stuff. So I think that would be better so that I don't get behind on it. Anyway. So if you haven't been studying at all since you studied with me, just jump right back into it. Don't worry. We don't worry if we get behind. We just keep doing it. And really, I encourage you to listen to some other people. I know not everyone is super accurate with their teaching, so you've got to be discerning, but I still listen to somebody teaching from the Bible on most days. I listen. So I'm still getting it, and now, I'm jumping back in to go over it with you. Now, I studied these first few chapters of Judges a few times, but I don't know. It's been hard to. I don't know Judges the way I know Genesis. So I've had to read them several times and just get into them. So we're just going to take this one step at a time. My kitty's over here wanting to bug us already. Hi, kitty. Anyway, we're just going to take it at our own pace. Now, the book of Judges, a lot of people think it was written by Samuel. Kitty, don't do that. And but it's not known for sure. When we read the book of Joshua, when excuse me, quit it, kitty. When the people the Israelites lost Joshua as their leader, they didn't really know what to do with themselves. And anyway, so you can review. I think you can just look back on Facebook and find Joshua if you want to. I posted them all on YouTube too. My YouTube channel is called Bible Discussions with Ginger. But I don't get many views on there. Most people view my videos through Facebook. So, but you can go on there especially if you want to go back and look at the Joshua study again or whatever. So Judges comes right after Joshua, and the people, they've taken the promised land in general. They've conquered it in general, but there were still areas God wanted them to conquer. And remember, there's 12 tribes of Israel, and they were supposed to drive out all the remaining inhabitants of the land. So if they didn't, they would end up worshiping the gods of these people and whatnot. So when it refers to Canaanites, those are different people groups. It's more than one people group that they're referring to, but the people of the area. So let's just jump in and read a little, and we'll see how far we get. All right, now when you think of Judges, this is not judges with a gavel that are going to judge the people and tell them they're wrong. They're more like deliverers or helpers, or in a sense, little saviors, types and shadows of Jesus Christ. So people that God sends to help. Now the Israelites, they would get off track and they would cry out to God. They would have problems because they got away from him. And then they would call out to him when they had trouble, and then he would come give them a judge or someone to deliver them and help them. And that's who these judges are. So let's go through it. Now I think every week I'm going to review it pretty deeply. I mean, I want to study this over and over. I want to get it. I want to really get it deep, that when somebody asks me 5 years a question from now, a question about Judges, I'll remember it, right like that without looking it up. But anyway, I want to dig as deep as I can. So let's go to Judges chapter 1. Like I said, this is just right after Joshua in the Bible. I usually study out of the New American Standard Bible. It's a pretty accurate translation, word for word translation. So let's read this. Now it came about after the death of Joshua that the sons of Israel inquired of the Lord, saying, who shall go up first for us against the Canaanites to fight against them? The Lord said, Judah shall go up. Behold, I have given the land into his hand. That grunting you hear is my dogs wrestling on the floor. They have a bunch of toys. They got a bunch of toys for Christmas and bones and things. They'll pick one and fight over it, my little dogs. That's what you're hearing. And if you hear a cat, he's sitting right with us on the table. You just can't see him right now. So anyway, the Lord says that Judah should go up to fight these remaining people because God has delivered these people into Judah's hands. So this shows that the victory belongs to the Lord. All they have to do is do what he said, okay? Verse 3, Then Judah said to Simeon his brother, come up with me into the territory allotted me, that we may fight against the Canaanites, and I in turn will go with you into the territory allotted you. So Simeon went with him. Remember, Joshua gave, with the Lord's instructions, the 12 tribes of Israel different areas. Boy, I'd have to refresh my memory on that one. But we looked at maps and things. I need a really good book of Bible maps. I'm kind of still searching for that. I know there's an online app with a lot of that kind of thing, but anyway, there are maps that show, and you can Google it, there are maps that show the different areas allotted to the different tribes of Israel. Let's go over the tribes again. The tribes of Israel are the 12 sons. Abraham had Isaac, Isaac had Jacob, and Jacob had 12 sons, which became the 12 original tribes of Israel. And they were, in order of birth, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. Now, Joseph, when that tribe was eventually split into two, and the Levites weren't considered. The Levites became priests. Now they had lands too, but it wasn't the same. So the two sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, they became two tribes, kind of replacing Joseph and the Levites, who were the priests. So anyway, so the names of the tribes changed, so to speak. So God is going to give these people groups into Judah's hand. Now, people are really critical of this. Let me read it again, verse 3. I'm not sure why, though. Then Judah said to Simeon his brother, come up with me into the territory allotted me, that we may fight against the Canaanites, and I in turn will go with you into the territory allotted you. So Simeon went with him. Now, people are critical that Judah asked Simeon to fight with him. I don't think that's a problem, though. I don't see the justification of that criticism, really. So, do you see Kitty's tail? He's laying here. He's got his feet on my Bible, and he's relaxing. He's just so happy to be here with us. So anyway, God still gives these people into Judah's hand. God doesn't criticize Judah asking Simeon to go with him. I mean, God didn't say go ask Simeon to go with you, but he didn't say he couldn't either. So I think people are just being a little bit over analytical there. But okay, verse 4. Judah went up, and the Lord gave the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hands, and they defeated 10,000 men at Bezek. They found Adonai, Bezek, and fought against him, and they defeated the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adonai-Bezek fled, and they pursued him and caught him and cut off his thumbs and big toes. Adonai-Bezek said, 70 kings with their thumbs and their big toes cut off used to gather up scraps under my table. As I have done, so God has repaid me. So they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there. Okay, so from what I understand, there were a lot of different cities, almost like city-states, and they each had a king. So even though this is not a huge area, I mean, Israel's small, you guys. It's smaller than Colorado. So even though it's small, each city or city-state, whatever you want to call it, had their own king. And so there's a bunch of them because of that. And this guy, Adonai-Bezek, he was not a noble ruler. He was very harsh. So Judah and his brother tribe, Simeon, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, they were all sons of Leah and Jacob. Those first four sons, first four of the 12 tribes, they defeated them. So it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt the Levites that we know of to ask Simeon to go with him, the tribe, because they still won. And they captured this evil ruler, Adonai-Bezek, and they pursued him. They cut off his thumbs and his big toes, making it hard for him to fight, hold a weapon, making it hard for him to run. And he had done that. He confessed himself that he had done that he did that to 70 other kings in the past. And then they have to, for their sustenance, they used to have to gather up scraps under his table. And he understands that what he reaped, he had sowed, this Adonai-Bezek, this evil ruler. So, and they brought him to Jerusalem. He died there. Now, the people do not yet possess Jerusalem. Let's just keep reading. Then the sons of Judah fought against Jerusalem and captured it and struck it with the edge of the sword and set the city on fire. Now, Jerusalem at the time, it was controlled by this Canaanite tribe, Jebusites, and it was not yet the capital of, Jerusalem. I mean, the Israelites did not have control of Jerusalem at the time, and eventually David defeated it. Now they captured Jerusalem and they set the city on fire. But let me read verses 9 and 10. Afterwards, the sons of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites living in the hill country and in the Negev and in the lowland. So Judah went against the Canaanites who lived in Hebron. Now the name of Hebron formerly was Kiriath Arba, and they struck Sheshai and Amian and Talmai. Okay, so they struck Jerusalem, and then they fought against the Canaanites who lived there, or the Jebusites who lived there, and they captured it, but they still don't yet control the city. We'll talk about that. Okay, and then afterwards, the sons of Judah went down and they fought the Canaanites living in Hebron, and then they struck Sheshai. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Sheshai, Araman, Ahiman, and Talmai, Talmai. And these were sons of giants. These were the sons of Anak from, if you go back and read Numbers 13:22. And he inhabited Hebron. I think these were sons of giants. I wasn't going to look up this verse, but now I think I'm going to. Numbers 12:32. Numbers, what did I say it was? Numbers 13:22. Okay, Numbers 13:22. When they had gone up into the Negev, they came to Hebron, where Ammon, Sheshai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, were. Now Hebron was built 7 years before. Anak, I think he was a giant. Now, I don't know. I don't know how big he was. I don't know. We watched the Nuggets play. We watched them tonight. They won on New Year's Day. It was a really great game. And I see those guys as giants. I see them as, some of them as giants. You know, if you're 7 foot tall or a bit taller, you're a giant to me. But I don't know how big they were. But anyway, I believe these three that they struck down in Hebron were the sons of giants. I am pretty sure. All right. So, Judah is making a lot of progress killing off these inhabitants of the land, which God instructed them to do. And Simeon is helping him. Now, I want you to keep in mind, and you might not remember this, and it's okay if you don't. We'll probably mention it a dozen times. Judah, whom God sent, and who God is going to get the victory against these inhabitants of the land. Judah is the son of Jacob. He is the tribe from whom Jesus will eventually come. So when Jesus is born into the Jewish population, he is born into the tribe of Judah. And so I think this has a lot of meaning, at least in my mind it does. The victory is going to be given to Judah. Well, the victory over our sin will come from the tribe of Judah too, because Jesus pays for the sin of mankind eventually when he comes, and he will come through the tribe of Judah. So I just wanted to throw that in there, because every Old Testament story points to Jesus. And I love the Old Testament. If you get discouraged studying it, don't. Just do it. Just keep listening, keep reading. Eventually, you're going to understand more and more. Even if it takes you, even 20 years from now, things will keep coming to you. If you just keep studying, things still come to me, and I've been studying since I was in high school, and things still come to me. New revelations of understanding in the scriptures. So let's read just a little bit more. We're not going to make this long, because I really want you to get it deep into your spirit. So you can listen to it over and over again. You can read it. You can listen to somebody else talk about it. Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Let me go back to Numbers 13:22, because I wrote in my notes to also read verse 28. Numbers 13:22. Okay. This is verse 28. Nevertheless, the people who live in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. And moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. I guess it's just more confirmation that these three that they killed, that they struck, Sheshai, Ammon, and Talmai were sons of Anak. Okay. If I learn more about him, I'll let you know. Okay. Let's just keep going for a little bit. Verse 11, then from there he went against the inhabitants of Debir. Now the name of Debir formerly was Kiriath Septer. And Caleb said, the one who attacks Kiriath Septer and captures it, I will give him my daughter Ashat for a wife. I don't think I'm saying that right. Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, captured it. So he gave his daughter Ashash for a wife. So there was a city, Caleb. Remember, he was the only one when the spies were sent into the promised land, and the only two that brought back a good report to Moses were Joshua and Caleb. So Joshua and Caleb, out of that group of men, and out of that group of men, they were the only ones who were ever allowed to enter the promised land. And so Caleb decided that whoever took after the city, Kiryas Septer, he would give his daughter to that person for a wife. She must have been quite the catch. So anyway, Othniel, his nephew, his brother's son, Othniel, captured this city. And so Caleb gave his daughter to his nephew as a wife. Let me just read. She makes a deal with her dad. She wants some land, some property here. And let me read that, and then I think we'll quit, because this is a lot of detail. Now, Othniel is the first of the judges, and so that's why he's significant. So keep that in mind. Say it in your mind a dozen times. Othniel. Okay? Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, captured it. So he gave his daughter Ashesh for a wife. Then it came about when she came to him that she pursued him to ask her father for a field. Then she alighted from her donkey, and Caleb said to her, "What do you want?" She said to him, "Give me a blessing. Since you have given me the land of Negev, give me also springs of water." So Caleb gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. So obviously there's water there. He had already given her some kind of, maybe it was a bridal gift, I don't know. Some land there in the Negev. We need a map. We need better maps. I'm going to see what I can do about finding us some good maps. The descendants of the Kenite, Moses' father-in-law, went up from the city of Palms. The city of Palms was Jericho. Think of like Palm Beach in California, which used to be really nice, I guess. It's kind of, the really nice area. Rich people live there. Okay, so the descendants of the Canaanite, Moses' father-in-law, went up from the city of Palms, or Jericho, with the sons of Judah to the wilderness of Judah, which is in the south of Arad. And there they went and lived with the people. We're getting farther than I want to go. I want to stop there about, this daughter of Caleb, whom his nephew receives as a reward for attacking Kiryas Septer and capturing it. So he married his cousin, which was common in the day and in this culture. She asks her husband to ask for a field. But then she says, to her dad, "Give me a blessing," to Caleb. "Since you've given me the land of Negev, give me also springs of water." So I don't know how that came about, because she asks him to ask for a field, then she asks for springs of water. So I don't know if it skips the little part where he asks for the land, and I don't know how that works. But anyway, we're not going to overanalyze it, but I want to stop there. So this is kind of what happened. I'm going to review it again next time when we get into it, and I want you to keep in mind that Othniel is the first of the judges. His name is spelled Othnniel, Othniel. He's the first of the judges, and we're going to discuss him more. I hope you have a great 2025. I don't know how soon I'm going to get these first several studies done. It may take us to May to get this in. Who cares, though? As long as we're trying and keeping going. Don't get discouraged with Bible study. Just keep doing it. People feel like they're not biblically literate sometimes. But the thing is that people don't become biblically literate unless they get in there and read it. Even if they don't understand it, at first their spirit is still fed, right? And they're going to understand it eventually. I always tell my high school students that if you stick with it long enough, you're going to understand it eventually. So this book of Judges has 21 chapters, and we didn't even get through the first chapter. I didn't want to, because there's a lot going on here. So anyway, I hope this year of 2025 is a blessing for all of us, and I will catch you next time, and we'll discuss more about what is going on here as these people try to conquer some more of these Canaanites living in the land, and as Othniel does the duty that God has sent him to do.